Hello everyone. Okay, now in this lecture we will discuss types of molecular orbitals. In previous lecture we studied that how molecular orbitals are formed according to LCAO method. Clear? Now, as we have seen four different types of atomic orbitals S, P, D and F. Similarly, how many different types of molecular orbitals are there? So they are sigma, pi and delta. This is for diatomic molecules. So in this chapter we are going to study only homonuclear diatomic molecules. Clear? And that is why we will restrict the type of orbitals, molecular orbitals only up to sigma, pi and delta. Clear? Okay. Now in this sigma, how this sigma orbital is formed. So whenever sigma molecular or sigma type molecular orbital is to be formed, then there is always involvement of either s or pz orbital. This we have studied in case of the types of covalent bond also. Means according to valence bond theory also, it is suggested that whenever s orbitals are involved in bond formation or they are involved in overlapping, then strong sigma bond is formed. Similarly, when pz orbital, which is always along the internuclear axis, so when pz orbital is involved, whether it is 2pz or 3pz or 4pz, whatever is the principal quantum number, but if the type of orbital is pz, then always sigma bond, strong bond is formed. So this we have already discussed in case of covalent bond. Clear? Or the valence bond theory. Now the same thing is repeated here, but in different manner. Now here, for example, I have written sigma orbital, sigma molecular orbitals. They are symmetric about bond axis. See, according to valence bond theory, we have used the word sigma bond, pi bond, but not for the orbitals. Clear? Sigma orbital or pi orbital we have not studied, we have not come across. Clear? So according to valence bond theory, we study only sigma covalent bond or pi covalent bond, and the strength of these two bonds. Sigma is stronger, pi is weaker in strength. Clear? But according to molecular orbital theory, the molecular orbital itself is designated by symbol sigma, pi or delta. Now here I have written sigma orbital is symmetric about the bond axis. Now it should be clear in your mind, whenever we talk about sigma molecular orbital, you must be clear that there must be the involvement of s and pz orbitals. Clear? Either ss or s and pz or pz like that. So that type of orbitals will be involved. For example, now why it is called symmetric? So for example, we are taking two 1s orbital. For example, hydrogen molecule, H2 molecule. So this is one hydrogen atom, 1s orbital. This is another hydrogen atom, 1s orbital. Clear? Now these two are atomic orbitals. We have also studied in valence bond theory that the number of molecular orbitals formed is always equal to the number of atomic orbitals involved. In the salient features of molecular orbital theory or the different conditions required for molecular orbital theories, we will not go in that topic, but in the salient features of or the important features of molecular orbital theory, it is mentioned that the number of molecular orbitals formed is always equal to the number of atomic orbitals involved. Clear? So here, as two atomic orbitals are involved, two molecular orbitals are formed. And in the salient features, we have also studied that out of the total molecular orbitals formed, half of them are bonding and half are anti-bonding. So here, as two molecular orbitals are formed, one is bonding and the other is anti-bonding. Anti-bonding is always shown by putting asterisk. Clear? So sigma 1s and sigma star 1s. So this is the symbol used for molecular orbital. In atomic orbital, we only write the principal quantum number before the symbol of the orbital. So it is 1s, 1s. Clear? But when this 1s, 1s atomic orbitals combine linearly to form molecular orbitals, then before the symbol of this atomic orbital, we add one more symbol, and that is for the molecular orbital. So here it is s orbital combination, so sigma bond is formed. So sigma molecular orbital is formed. So it is sigma 1s and sigma star 1s. Similarly, as I have written here, when pz orbitals are involved in linear combination, then also sigma molecular orbital is formed. So for example, this is the 2pz orbital of one atom, this is 2pz orbital of another atom. So two atomic orbitals are undergoing linear combination. So two molecular orbitals will be formed. One is a sigma 2pz and the other is a sigma star 2pz. Clear? So you can see, you can now understand the difference between the atomic and the molecular orbitals. For atomic orbitals, we write like this: principal quantum number and the type of orbital. But for molecular orbital, we write principal quantum number and the type of orbital. Along with that, as a prefix, we add this new symbol that is used for the molecular orbital, either sigma or pi or delta. Clear? So as here we are talking about sigma type of molecular orbital, here I have added the symbol sigma. Clear? Now why this sigma molecular orbitals are symmetric about the bond axis? So let us take the example of pz-pz combination. This is pz, 2pz orbital of one atom, this is 2pz orbital of another atom. In the previous lecture, we have studied that atomic orbitals can combine linearly either by addition or by subtraction. If by addition they combine, then they produce bonding molecular orbital, and if by subtraction or by destructive interference they combine, then they will produce anti-bonding molecular orbital. Clear? So let us think about the constructive interference or the addition of these two atomic orbitals, 2pz and 2pz. Here this positive and negative signs are the sign of wave function. Clear? So when the atomic orbitals they face each other, then as we have studied before also, that their positive lobes must face each other, and this is called head-on overlap or the axial overlap. It is always maximum overlap. So if constructive interference takes place or addition of the wave function takes place, then this type of molecular orbital will be formed. Here you can see this positive lobes of both the orbitals, they combine to form a bigger molecular orbital or the bigger region between the two nuclei where the electron density is maximum. In previous lecture also I told you that the electrons occupying the bonding molecular orbital, they will remain between the two nuclei. Clear? So this is the maximum electron density region in which the electrons are present. Clear? Now here the important thing is this molecular orbital is also symmetric about the bond axis, means it is along the internuclear axis. Now if see, this is the internuclear axis and these are the the sigma molecular orbitals. Now if this axis is given 180-degree rotation, then also there will not be any change in the sign of the wave function. Positive will remain positive only, negative will remain negative only. So the sign of these wave functions will not change even if we give 180-degree rotation to this molecular orbital about its bond axis, and that is why it is called symmetric about the bond axis. Clear? This is destructive interference or the subtraction of the wave functions. 2pz1 and 2pz2, two different atoms, and their 2pz orbitals are involved in the molecular orbital formation, but there is subtractive or the subtraction of the wave functions. So here you can see positive, negative, negative. See, same way as I have drawn in the previous case, the same thing I have drawn here, but only the difference is in place of positive I have put negative sign. Means there is a destructive interference. Here there is subtraction of the wave function. So how that subtraction takes place? So here you can see the orbital, the lobes which face each other, they are shrunk. Clear? And the sign of the lobes have also changed. Positive is facing the negative face and a negative lobe. Clear? And that these two lobes which are facing each other, they are shrunk. And here you can see in between these two lobes there is a gap which is called nodal plane. Clear? So the electron is not present here in the nodal plane. In second chapter we have studied what is nodal plane. It is that region around the nucleus of an atom where there is no electron, or the electron probability is 0. So as I told you in previous lecture also, that electrons occupying antibonding molecular orbital, they will not remain between the two nuclei, but they are slightly away from the two nuclei. Clear? So here there is a nodal plane. There is no electron present between these two lobes. Clear? So this is called antibonding molecular orbital. Now here also, in this orbital also, if you give 180 degree rotation, here 180 degree rotation is given, then also there is no change in the positive or negative sign, clear, of the wave function, because this orbital themselves are oriented along the axis. So if the axis is given 180 degree rotation, then also there will not be any change in the sign. Clear? This will be more clear when we go for the pi type of molecular orbitals. Clear? So this is, I think this is clear to you what is meant by symmetric about the bond axis. So this is what is meant by the symmetric nature of sigma orbitals about the bond axis, and it is also clear that how the constructive or destructive interference or the addition and subtraction of the wave functions of two different atomic orbitals can take place in order to give us bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Now let us go for the second type of molecular orbital, and that is pi. Delta we are not going to study in this chapter here. So pi orbitals are asymmetric about the bond axis. Asymmetric, what is meant by that? This type of asymmetric, when the pi bond, see here in the previous topic, means in the valence bond theory, we studied that pi bond is formed when px or py orbitals are involved in overlapping. Clear? So here also the same concept is there. When px or py orbitals overlap, when they are mixed up, when there is a linear combination of px or py orbital, clear, then there is a formation of pi type of molecular orbital. So here we are taking the example of 2px and 2px. This is 2px orbital of one atom, this is 2px orbital of another atom. Clear? Now these two atomic orbitals, when they combine, then two molecular orbitals are formed. One is bonding, the other is anti-bonding. So pi 2px and pi star 2px. So two molecular orbitals are formed, out of which one is bonding and the other is anti-bonding. Clear? Now what is meant by asymmetric nature? So here you can see px orbitals, they are perpendicular to the internuclear axis. This is internuclear axis. So px orbitals or py orbitals are perpendicular to the internuclear axis. So suppose this is 2px1 and this is 2px2. Clear? When there is an additive or when there is an addition of the wave function, when there is constructive interference of the wave function, then here you can see the above and below the internuclear axis, two lobes are formed. The positive lobes above the internuclear axis, they will combine to produce a single lobe. Similarly, the downward lobe, the lower lobe, which is a negative lobe, it will also combine, it will be mixed up to form the negative lobe below the internuclear axis. Now this is the bond axis or the internuclear axis. Now if this axis is given 180 degree rotation, then this positive will come downward and the negative will come upward. So there will be change in the sign. Positive will go down and negative will go up. Clear? So this is called asymmetric nature. Here it was not there. Here in case of sigma orbital, sigma molecular orbital, why it is called symmetric? Because if we rotate 180 degree, clear, then also there is no change in the sign. Clear? But here there are two lobes, one above and one below. So if you give 180 degree rotation, then these two lobes will change. So positive will come downward and negative will come upward. So and that is why it is called asymmetric about the bond axis. Clear? So here also you can see positive and positive, negative and negative lobes are present, and so in between these two there is maximum electron density. So this is called bonding molecular orbital. But if the destructive interference or the subtraction of the wave function take place like this, then you can see here this orbital, it will be oriented like this, positive and negative, and here it will be just opposite to that, so negative and positive, and in between these two there is empty space. Clear? This is empty space where there is no electron, so it is a nodal plane. So as I told you that in anti-bonding molecular orbital the electrons are not present between the two nuclei, but they are present slightly away from the nuclei. So this is the nodal region between the two nuclei where there is no electron. Clear? And that is why these orbitals, they repel each other, they cancel each other. Clear? In the previous topic we discussed that when destructive interference takes place, then the two atomic or then the two electron wave functions, they cancel each other. Cancel each other means they are opposite to each other. Clear? And so they will produce a nodal plane between the two nuclei. But if it is a constructive interference, then the two wave functions, two electron wave function, they reinforce, they strengthen each other, and that is how the positive and negative lobes, they combine, they mixed up. Clear? And the above and below the internuclear or the bond axis, two lobes are formed, and the electron density is maximum here. The electron can be present in upper or the lower lobe also. Clear? So this is about bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbital. We have studied this with reference to 2px. You can also write 2py orbital. It will be one and the same. Diagram will remain one and the same. Explanation will also be same. Clear? So in short, molecular orbitals are of three types: sigma, pi and delta. And in this chapter we are studying the molecular orbitals formed for diatomic molecules. We will not go for those molecules in which more than two atoms are present. Clear? So it is only for diatomic molecules, and also it is for homonuclear diatomic molecules. Clear? So how sigma molecular orbital is formed? It is formed by either s and pz orbitals linear combination. This linear combination takes place always in two possible ways: positive and negative, means addition and subtraction, or constructive and destructive. Clear? Why? Because two atomic orbitals means two molecular orbitals. One is bonding, the other is anti-bonding. Bonding means it is constructive interference or the addition of wave function. Anti-bonding means it is destructive interference or subtraction of wave functions. Clear? So in any case, whether it is sigma or pi type, we always have to consider that linear combination always takes place in two different ways. Clear? It never happens that for any molecule only there is positive combination, or there is addition of wave function, or there is constructive interference of the wave function. Clear? Both will take place simultaneously in order to produce two different types of molecular orbitals. One is bonding, the other is anti-bonding. Bonding is lower in energy, anti-bonding is higher in energy. Clear? So this is all about the types of molecular orbitals. Now, as we know, according to Aubau's principle, we have studied the energy sequence of atomic orbitals, that 1s orbital is always written first, then 2s, then 2p, then 3s, then 3p, then 4s, then 3d. Clear? So this sequence we have studied for atomic orbitals. Here we are studying about molecular orbitals. So what is the sequence for molecular orbitals? Clear? So this energy sequence of molecular orbitals is experimentally, it is obtained from the spectroscopic data of homonuclear diatomic molecules of second period. Second period of the periodic table means lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. So only these elements we will study. So for these diatomic molecules which are formed from the elements of the second period, so for this type of diatomic, homonuclear diatomic molecules, experimentally the sequence, energy sequence of different molecular orbitals is obtained. So how it is there? See, the first element of the second period is lithium. So its diatomic molecule is Li2. Another second element is beryllium. So diatomic molecule is Be2. Third is boron, so B2. Fourth is carbon, so C2. Clear? Fifth is nitrogen, so N2. So for these 5 homonuclear diatomic molecule, the energy sequence is like this. See, 1s and 1s. When these two atomic orbital will combine, two molecular orbitals are formed, sigma 1s and sigma star 1s. Clear? So sigma 1s, which is bonding, is always less in energy. So sigma 1s less than sigma star 1s. Clear? Then comes 2s atomic orbital. So 2s and 2s atomic orbital, when they combine linearly, then two molecular orbitals are formed, sigma 2s and sigma star 2s. So sigma 2s is bonding, so it is lower in energy, and then sigma star 2s. Clear? Then comes p orbital, 2px, 2py and 2pz. Got it? So in this 2pz, it will always form sigma molecular orbital, but px and py, they will form pi molecular orbital. So that we studied here. So what is the sequence? Now pi to px and pi to py, they are equal in energy. So it is written pi to px is equal to pi to py. But these two orbitals are lower in energy compared to sigma to pz. Clear? So 2px, 2py and 2pz, when these three orbitals of any atom, when they will combine linearly, clear, by both addition and subtraction of the wave functions, then they will produce total 6 molecular orbitals, 3 atomic orbitals, px, py and pz. Clear? So of 2 atoms, we are talking about diatomic molecule. So one atom is having px, py, pz, the other atom is also having px, py, pz. So total 6 atomic orbitals. When they combine linearly, then 6 molecular orbitals are formed. Now out of 6 molecular orbitals, 3 are bonding and 3 are anti-bonding. Now let us talk about the bonding orbitals. Now px, py, they will form pi type of bonding or molecular orbital. Clear? And pz will always produce sigma type bonding molecular orbital. So here I have written pi to px and pi to py, they are equal in energy, and sigma to pz, which is, these are the, clear? Similarly, 3 anti-bonding molecular orbitals are also formed. So after sigma to pz, there will be pi star to px is equal to pi star to py. So as bonding molecular orbital pi to px and pi to py are degenerate, they are equal in energy. Similarly, anti-bonding molecular pi orbitals, clear, they are also degenerate, they are also equi-energetic. So pi star to px is equal to pi star to py, and lastly is a sigma star to pz. So in this chapter we have to study only this many diatomic homonuclear molecules. So our energy sequence is restricted only up to here. We will not go for the third orbit, 3s, 3p, 3d. So that those orbitals we are not going to study. Clear? So only the involvement of 1s, 2s and 2p orbitals. And out of these orbitals, how many molecular orbitals are formed? So that we have to study. So for lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon and nitrogen, these diatomic molecules, the sequence is like this. Clear? After nitrogen, the next element is oxygen, and after that is fluorine. So for oxygen and fluorine, the sequence is the same. Only difference is here this 2pz orbital will come here and this will go here. Only that much is difference. So here you can see sigma 1s, here also sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s, sigma star 2s. Clear? After that, here it is pi to px is equal to pi to py, but here it is 2pz, sigma to pz. So this will come first, then this will come. Clear? Pi to px and is equal to pi to py, and this two will remain as it is. So only this much is the difference, and this is very important difference, because in exam if you are asked that write molecular electron configuration of nitrogen, then you have to follow this sequence. If you are asked that write molecular electron configuration of either O2 or F2, then you have to follow this sequence. There is a minute difference, only the difference of only one orbital. Clear? Only this sequence is changed. They are just interchange. Otherwise, remaining things are same. According to Pauli's principle, we add always 2 electrons in one orbital. So here in molecular orbital also, we will add 2 electrons in each of them. According to Hund's rule, when the electron has to occupy degenerate orbital, then it will first remain unpaired. So here these are the degenerate orbitals. So when the electron has to enter this orbital, it will first remain unpaired and then pairing will start. Clear? So that we will see afterwards in the next session when we will study the real molecular electron configuration of these many molecules. So this is very important topic. It is generally asked in 2 marks that write molecular electron configuration of so and so molecule, calculate its bond order, and predict its magnetic property. Clear? So how to calculate bond order and how to decide magnetic property, that we will take in the next session. Clear? So I hope this much is clear to everyone. So this is all for today. In the next session we will go for the next topic. Thank you very much.